forecast first from KARK4, your weather authority.
Severe thunderstorm warning expiring in Yell County. Warning continues up in northern Arkansas for Marion and Baxter County. The rest of us dry. Here's the forecast for the overnight hours. Temperatures will fall from the middle 80s into the middle 70s. A muggy start to the day. Any more chance for rain and the temperature trend? You may not like it. Your news starts next.
Coming up, 2 surgeries later, a teen recovers after being blasted by a mortar firework.
They said they pulled pieces of shrapnel out of my leg.
In depth, why some are pushing for a ban. Next, firefighters battle the heat as a fire rips through a Little Rock home. And a West Memphis police chief fights to raise awareness about a movement that's under the radar.
Now, from the station you count on. In-depth, investigative, part of your community. This is KARK4 News at 6 in high definition.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jancy Sheets.
And I'm Melissa Seamus. Bob has the evening off. Independence Day has come and gone, but fireworks injuries still firing up. According to the latest Consumer Product Safety Commission report, statistics show there were 6,300 firework-related injury reports in 2010. 40% of those injuries, children 15 years old and younger, and 3 firework-related deaths. And now, one young man still dealing with the physical and emotional trauma of his injuries, but he says for him, this was no accident. It is a story that we first brought you last night at 10 o'clock, and today, in depth, KARK4's Lauren Traeger visited that man in the hospital for more on this shocking story. Lauren?
Well, just imagine this. Taylor Williams was shot in the leg and his thigh, so just a few inches or a foot higher, and we'd be telling you a very different story. Now, we do want to warn you that some of the images you're about to see may be disturbing.
It looks like I got hit by a grenade.
These gruesome images tell the tale. 19-year-old Taylor Williams' leg was ripped open by a direct hit from a firework, just barely missing a major artery. Doctors were able to save him, sewing up his wound. But it'll be a long road for Williams, now laid up in a hospital bed, never imagining this could have happened to him. On the 4th of July, he had just finished lighting fireworks with his friends when they say another group of people took aim at them. A large artillery shell fired straight at them.
Whoever did it went out of their way to aim it at me and my group of friends, so I don't know what they're thinking. I hope they get caught.
Now, as for that justice, police are investigating the incident, but right now they have very few leads. Taylor's family is offering a $500 reward for any information that could lead to an arrest. Now, you can go to our website, arkansasmatters.com, if you think you have any information that could help. Back to you.
And get this, what happened to Taylor also happened to 2 separate Pulaski County Sheriff's deputies. They too were fired on by fireworks. A juvenile and this man, Billy Barron, were arrested. Barron charged with aggravated assault because a firework, deputies say, can be considered a deadly weapon. Some say there should be tougher restrictions on mortar or artillery shell fireworks.
But a ban on some of these large-scale commercial, professional-type fireworks, I don't know why the average citizen needs to be shooting those off. They're dangerous if you don't handle them correctly. You don't know what you're doing.
Now, a ban is in place elsewhere. In 2009, Murfreesboro, Tennessee banned large fireworks when their officers and even some city council members were fired on with them.
Firefighters battle high temperatures as a fire rips through a Little Rock house. It happened on East 19th Street, and the Victorian-style house was in the process of being sold and redeveloped. Thick smoke and flames greeted firefighters as they worked to put out the fire. The house was vacant and didn't have electricity, so no word yet on how that fire was started.
Saving the lives of police officers is the mission for father and former West Memphis Police Chief Bob Powdert. His son and another officer were killed during a traffic stop last year by members of the Sovereign Citizen Movement. KARK4's Bakari Savage has more now. Bakari?
Well, Melissa, first off, Powdert says there's no longer such a thing as a routine traffic stop for officers. When Powdert's son, Brandon, and his responding partner, Bill Evans, were dealing with these people. They were confused because they didn't know what to look for. And that's what today's training at UCA's campus in Conway was aimed at changing. Powdert wants other officers to be aware of what his son was not: the non-government issued ID cards and phony license plates. Powdert has been all over the country, and the message for officers when they encounter these people is to get backup, because he says it's more dangerous than we think.
And it was under the radar. It was there. Nobody paid any attention to it until May the 20th, when I lost 2 police officers.
The Southern Poverty Law Center estimates that 300,000 people in this country are part of this sovereign citizen movement. Powdert says if you see any of these people, call police immediately. Back to you.
All right, Bakari, thank you for that report. A deadly accident claims the life of one teen and sends 2 others to Little Rock hospitals. It happened Wednesday at the intersection of 65th Street and Windsor. The driver, Anthony Bluford, was thrown from the car when he hit a tree head-on. He is currently in critical condition at a local hospital. Front passenger Shahid Akbar was also thrown from the car but later died at Arkansas Children's Hospital. And the rear passenger, Quasi Ellis, taken to a local hospital and is currently being treated for a broken jaw and spinal and head injuries.
Today, 5 men sentenced for stealing just under $500 in scrap. It happened in Cross County, and Williams Irby III, Thomas Clay, Sylvester Clark, Tommy Smith, and Jonathan House faced a district court judge on theft of property and criminal trespass charges. They were found guilty and ordered to pay fines and restitution.
Still ahead, hot temperatures don't just affect people.
They affect man's best friend also. Straight ahead, some tips on how to keep your dog cool. And coming in sports, Razorback pitcher Ryan Stanek talks about being on Team USA.
Plus, running back Alti Tenpenny does Little Rock proud. We're going to tell you just how well he performed during day 1 of Nike's Elite Camp. Sports is later.
And thanks to some anticipated rainfall in the state and some cloud cover from that, high temperatures today managed to remain in the 80s for a lot of us. 89 in Little Rock with a trace of rain, much more in other parts of the state. Your forecast for any more of that in the works is next.
This is KARK 4 News at 6 in high definition.